When you're an accountant and the IRS has asked you for information with respect to a particular client or particular taxpayer, it can really come up in three different situations. One of those is just in the course of an ordinary audit. And in that case, you probably would have gotten from the taxpayer a power of attorney. You would have explained to the taxpayer that there are going to be some situations where some information is probably going to have to be shared with the Internal Revenue Service, and there won't be any issue with respect to your reputation or the client relations or anything like that. The second situation is a little bit more serious, and that is when the accountant is treated as a third-party record keeper with respect to the taxpayer. The taxpayer has the obligation to prove everything that's on its return, and if there are third parties like banks or insurance companies or brokerage firms that have information bearing on that return, the IRS can proceed against those people by summons and say, we understand that you have information with respect to this taxpayer. You're a third-party record keeper. You're obligated to turn this over to us. If an accountant gets a summons, you had better get with an attorney. There are sometimes cases where you can quash, that means defeat a summons, that is not have to comply with it, but you're probably going to be dealing with a court proceeding if you get a summons. You should get a lawyer, a tax lawyer at least. The third situation that does come up when the IRS asks for information about an accountant or asks an accountant information about a taxpayer is when the accountant himself is the issue. I have had clients who were accountants and tax return preparers who got inquiries from the IRS with respect to particular taxpayers because the IRS was interested in asserting against the accountant the return preparer penalty. If a return preparer really does a miserable job, participates in misleading the IRS, or whatever, not doing due diligence with respect to their clients, the IRS can assert a penalty against the accountant. And that's also a situation in which the accountant is well advised to have a lawyer.